good.
Ready?
Call the Exeter Township Planning Commission meeting to order, dated September 15th, 2025. Please rise for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Jeff?
Here.
Eric?
Here.
Darren, not present. Les?
Here.
Jordan? Here. And Mitch?
Here.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for this evening's meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Les.
I'll second.
Second by Jeff. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Is there anybody from the public who wishes to speak about anything? Seeing no one? We have no one. Okay. Next item is under new business. It's Martin Appliance, their land development at 4575 Perkiomen Avenue. Possible action after some discussion on the plan. Again, it's under new business, but we have seen this plan in here previously. Do you have anything you'd like to present, Representative? Or if not, we can move right to Joe.
They got conditional preliminary plan approval. This is their final plan submission. We did receive plans from McCarthy Engineering and reviewed them, and then we have a review letter dated September 9th. We can go through that quickly. There really isn't too many outstanding issues. Basically, under subdivision and land development, improvements agreement and cost breakdown shall be provided. They did submit one this evening. We'll review that and respond back to those cost estimates there for the public improvements for the site. Comment number 2 is just a administrative comment in regards to the CAD, the electronic version of the plans. Comments number 3 and 4 are the appropriate signatures that will be required on the plans prior to the recording. Number 5 basically just reiterates that the plans will have to be recorded in the Recorder of Deeds in Berks County. Comment number 6, monuments shall be installed prior to final plan approval. And comment number 7 is the date of the approval of the subdivision land development waiver should be noted on the cover sheet of the plans. No zoning issues. Everything has been resolved. Saldo or just final plan, unless anybody has any comments in regards to the saldo. If not, I'll proceed to the stormwater.
I'll bring it at the end.
Okay. Under stormwater, really the outstanding issue is the applicant will need to demonstrate erosion and sediment control plan and NPDES permit approval for the land development. It is understanding that the plans have been submitted to the county conservation district and they're waiting for approval. Comment number 7 is they did acknowledge this comment that the post-construction stormwater management plan will be submitted to the township as the post-construction plan, I should say, as approved for the final land development. They understand that requirement. Comment number 3 is the landowner acknowledgement statement will need to be executed prior to plan approval. Same with comment number 4, the design engineer will need to sign the certification block prior to final planning. Then comment number 5 is in regards to the post-construction stormwater management operations plan, which is typically what their format is, what matches our Act 167 stormwater ordinance. This will need to be executed at the time the final plans are approved. And number 6 is the contribution of the Municipal Stormwater Control and BMP Operation Maintenance Fund. This is to cover the periodic inspections that are required under our Act 167 ordinance during a 10-year duration. I believe it's 147 and year 10. Other than that, all the other items have been addressed. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer, or we can defer some of these questions to Jan, since she's presenting the plans this evening.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, thank you.
Discussion,
Yeah.
questions?
Okay, I talked with you earlier. I was with Jason when we were talking, and I just want to make sure everybody understands where I was coming from. Because I want to bring it up here. On page 2, there's a big block of red that's going to be the deconstruction zone. But if you print it out in black and white, that red is not shown. It might be nice to have a legend where the blocks are. Right there.
Yep.
It might be nice to have that block on the legend somewhere. I don't see it anywhere. And then the other thing I had a comment about, I think it was on page 4. They have something in the legend.
I think that was page 3, Jeff, wasn't it?
No, it's on 3 and 4.
Okay.
They have existing fence, and then they have proposed fence. Yeah. And the problem was you can't see the proposed fence. It's sitting on top of the retaining wall, so you can't see that, the indication that it's going to be there.
It's on, but it is on the
On the construction.
construction sheets.
Yeah. But
But you,
there's also no rendering of it so we can see what it's going to look like. That was my 3 comments. I went through all the papers today and just, I mean, if you go back to the last page and you look at all the renderings, there's no fence there, there's no retaining wall at all. So that just, like I said, it just caught my attention, you know, as I was going through all the drawings.
So the wall will just be a little bit above grade, and then you have a fence for safety.
On top of it, yeah.
Correct. And the fence, we did have a note today that the fence would be designed by others because it depends what kind of retaining wall we find choose to have at that point. Usually, but sometimes it's an architectural decision.
Permits
We're not
required
always
for,
decided at this point,
Okay,
but
that makes sense.
it's more general at this time.
Okay.
so do we need a revised sheet or something? Is that what you're asking for?
typically when the retaining wall, it'll fall under a building permit if it's a certain height. If it's not, it's just a landscape wall. I believe it's 3.5 feet. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, but
4 foot
4
would
foot.
require
We require an engineer, so they will be submitting engineered drawings for specifically for the wall during the construction, the building permit phase.
We do have on sheet 1, we do have 2 notes. We have the note stating that specifically.
Right.
That we need a structural engineer for the wall of a certain height. We also added the note about the fence that it will require township approval. And on sheet
That's
6,
perfect.
there is a detail for the retaining wall, and it has a variable height, and it says, you know.
Which sheet?
I think she said
safety
6.
fence. Yeah.
Right
there is
there, yeah.
different options for the walls depending on where they're at.
Right.
Because there's one in the front, and in the front, Martin Appliances is very specific about what their front view looks like. So there are 2 different details for the retaining walls, because they're not going to have the same on the eastern side as they are going to have in the front. But on both walls, there's a little safety feature on the fence there on the top. So it just depends on the wall and what they have done at the time that they actually build the wall. So we didn't make provision for that.
And the fence is not going to be actually on the top wall, it's going to be off a little bit, correct? Or if I'm looking at that, or
It looks like it's back here.
back on, yeah. Which I understand because they have a lot of failures when they do attach it to the top of the wall. A lot of times, we're seeing a lot of contractors and developers put the fence behind the wall, so it's actually physically in the ground versus on top of the wall. Because over a period of time, water gets in those sleeves and it cracks, and we have maintenance problems later.
Are you agreeable to the note that says it will require approval?
Yes, we typically have allowed that in the past where engineering drawings will need to be signed and sealed at the time of the building permit process because of the reasons. Sometimes they'll come in segmental and then the developer decides they want to do something with either a sculpted front or something of that nature. So we are a little, we do require those drawings. We typically review them when, at building permit stage. So I'm not opposed to that note unless the planning commission feels otherwise. We require signed and sealed drawings, so I'm fine with that note unless anybody else would like to comment or have concerns.
Yeah, I would just speak, I think the only concern is what we're not looking to have, hopefully, would be a silver chain link fence, similar to the building we have over here up at the corner. Just something that looks nice, which I think Martin's typically
Well, that
does.
note would cover that, saying
Yeah.
that you would have to approve it.
Right.
Obviously, you would not approve something like that. And I don't think they would do that anyway.
Yeah,
They're a little picky about what they have on their site.
yeah. Okay. Any other questions? The
And
only,
that demo, the stormwater hatch that you were talking about.
Oh, yes,
We did fix that today.
you added the star
Yeah,
on the legend.
yeah, on sheet 22, we fixed that.
Okay, just to make sure everybody understands, there's a legend. What page was that?
22.
I was looking earlier. Let me
It
go.
looks like some of the sheets were updated and some were not, but we did fix it. Is that what it was?
Yep, that's 22. And right there's the legend.
So where's the star at?
I believe what she's saying is she added it.
It's in there. It's a lot lighter, but it's in there.
What we're discussing is the proposed area for the drainage for the tanks. They're indicated by stars on top of them. I just didn't understand what they were, there was nothing on the legend, and I still don't see it.
No, she's saying, I believe, Jan, correct me if I'm wrong, but you added it to the plans that you just submitted us this evening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this isn't it?
so,
She only just walked in with them.
Okay, then
so it would be
I'll
on the
look at
paper
it.
plan.
No, that's this plan.
Okay.
She had walked in with them and they're right
Okay,
there.
so I'll look at them.
Yeah.
And I'll
She
verify.
she just brought them in tonight, so obviously I wasn't able to project them, but she did make your correction
Okay.
prior,
Thank you.
I had a question, Joe, just for you. Just looking at my notes from the last time they were in, the one thing we had was a conditional recommendation based on getting a phase one environmental study.
They submitted, yes, they actually submitted that a while ago, shortly after the preliminary plan approval. I believe Jason gave me a thumb drive because it was such a large document that it couldn't be emailed unless you do a Dropbox, but it was maybe like couple weeks after the preliminary plan approval, planning commission meeting, we did receive a phase one environmental, and so there was no major issues.
Okay, good.
Joe, just one minor detail on the fence, just for clarification. Did you mention the township's preference is not to mount it on the top of the wall?
No, it's to their discretion. We find a lot more people are not mounting it on the top because of the problems that they have down the line with cracking at the sleeve and water getting in there, but we're not opposed of it not being on the wall.
The only reason I was asking is the plans call out mounted to retaining wall.
Okay, it didn't, it seemed like it showed it as offset. I'm not opposed to that. That's up to their discretion. I thought it with the detail looked like you had it.
It says one thing, but the note on the
Okay,
plan says
okay. I think that can be addressed at the building permit when the drawings are submitted. But no, Eric, I'm not opposed of it having in there. I've seen it a lot more where they're not putting it on top of the wall for that reason, having a maintenance issue down the line. But I'm fine with what they're doing.
Thanks, Joe.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion to recommend final plan approval to the Board of Supervisors with the conditions that the remaining open comments are satisfied to staffs and the engineers'
I'll make that motion
satisfaction?
with the exceptions.
Yep. Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Glenn, I just want to note, I abstained from the vote.
Okay, one abstention.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Jan.
All right, moving on, not specifically listed here, but, any old business, from anybody?
Well, I have a seed update, the Joint Comprehensive Plan. The county gave us a draft, as everybody was informed of. Copies were given to all the supervisors and asked to give us their updates or changes. And then Michelle, Jason, and I sat down and went through them and marked up all the changes. And then last week at the meeting, we proposed a lot of changes. So I gave my markups to the county, and they are going to go through it and make all the changes. And then we asked to have another draft so that we could see all the changes. Douglas Township had a big concern about the whole plan, the plan in whole, that they want their, I don't know, views? What they're supposed to do in this plan delineated. They want a separate thing. It says, oh, Douglas Township, you're supposed to do this, which is actually goes against the whole
Right.
seed plan.
Right.
But that's what they, then Laura from Berks County Planning Commission offered it, so that's what we're gonna do. They're gonna pull Douglas Townships out and say, here's what Douglas Townships would be recommended to do. Because none of these are dictated, these are all recommendations. So we will have another draft, if anybody wants copies of it, please let us know. You know, because we can provide them. And we can provide them soft or hard, whichever way you would prefer to have them. And I don't believe we're gonna have a meeting next month, you said, Jason.
Yeah, it looked like the October meeting was going to be canceled for, review, preparation for the November meeting.
You gotta remember that all 4 townships or boroughs have to approve this. If one of them says no, then it's gotta go back to the drawing board and start over again. Not start over, but still has to be adjusted.
Jeff, any anticipated date when those revisions will be available?
I'm hoping by the end of the month
Okay.
that we're gonna have a copy. And if it doesn't, it shouldn't take them much longer, even though, I mean, it did take us, 2 hours to go through them? All the changes that I had, it took over 2 hours. I mean, but I had a lot of things like spaces and spellings and words that weren't right and things that were just technically wrong that they had in there. It was like unbelievable. I mean, graphs and charts that were just completely wrong. So I was kind of disappointed that it was so
Full of errors.
lack in detail.
Who was responsible for that? Was that the
Berks
consultant?
County Planning Commission. So we sent it back to them and asked for another one.
Thanks for the update. Anything from staff?
Yeah, I did include at everyone's seat a copy of the most recent unapproved subdivision list, so you can follow the plans that you voted on in the past, see where they're at. The other thing, we have a couple real exciting kind of new amenities or attractions to the township. I don't like to announce them in public until they've officially applied for building permits or, zoning permits, but there is one I can mention. We are getting a Dollar General to the Rite Aid facility. They've applied for permits, so I have no problem announcing that. And there's some other things that we're pretty excited about in-house that hopefully next meeting we can talk about.
So will Dollar General have to come through us, or if the facility?
No,
they're
it's,
just moving stuff into it?
it's a permitted use by right. So as long as they're not, doing major changes now, they'll just apply for a zoning permit and, building permits, and they won't have to come in here. It's permitted by right. They're not gonna have to do land development plans.
Just
Plus, it's
moving-
already a retail established.
Yeah,
So they're not changing anything?
they're not really changing much now.
Just a sign.
So that's all I really have on our end.
Anything further?
No, I don't have anything further. It's been, I'll say, quiet with plans. Haven't had any submissions lately, so.
Yeah, it's been a little bit on the quiet side. I'd anticipate spring of '26, probably getting building permits for Metropolitan.
Metropolitan did submit their improvements agreement. We did review it, went back and forth, and I believe we have it ironed out, and it's going to be recorded. They're still working out, I think, some other details with construction and so forth, but I think, just to say with Jason, we're probably looking, I think it's called the Eagles Landing, or they changed the name of it's not Lorraine anymore.
Yeah, they've officially, we're going back and forth with Berks County in some address assignments, and we button that up, I can present that to you guys.
They did submit another revised plans, which we're going to look at, but I think it's just minor changes that they had to do with the grading. But other than that, it basically, they should be ready to go.
I would anticipate permits being applied for early spring and late spring construction starting.
You want to say anything?
Are people able to get things constructed? I mean, what's the backlogs at the various construction companies?
It's always a busy time of the year in the fall because of the construction season. However, at the same time, I find a lot of contractors sometimes are looking for work to go into early fall, winter, and then finish in the spring. So it fluctuates, but so far we just bid 2 projects for the township, and both came in very competitive pricing, and we had a lot of bidders. So I was pleasantly surprised and pleased with the results. So we're seeing contractors, I'll say, bid aggressively.
I guess it
Projects.
depends on winter too. What
Yes.
kind of winter they're predicting, and
I think with development, land development, that's going to be subject to weather conditions, but if Lorraine started this, or Eagles Run started this fall, they could probably get some of their site work done, but it sounds like it's going to be more springtime.
Nothing about the promenade yet?
nothing at the moment. Stay tuned.
Been staying tuned for a year now.
Stay tuned.
Okay. If nothing else, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Jeff,
Second.
second by Eric. Meeting adjourned.